What is up guys, Chris05 here with another Show Me Your Deck video. This time for Deathrattle Hunter. I have decided I want to try and climb to Legend with this deck, so I might as well start the climb with going into details about the deck and how it works. As many of you know, this is a popular tier 1 deck right now, and the main reason for that is that it deals so well with most of the other great tier 1 decks. The main goal of the deck is to take control of the board and apply heavy amounts of minion pressure with its ways to cheat out additional stats on the board through its many synergies. Let's start off with the deck lineup. There are several versions of the deck, but most sources show that this is the best version of it. The name of the deck obviously comes mainly from Deathstalker Rexxar. What? Fine, yeah, the Deathrattle interactions are important too, I guess. All jokes aside, Deathrattle Hunter is a deck that plays around the synergies with its Deathrattle minions, that generate other minions upon dying. The most valuable card you can get in your starting hand is the Devilsaur Egg, which was considered as a bad joke not so long ago. Well, trust me, your opponent isn't laughing when he has to deal with two 5/5 Devilsaurs as soon as turn 4. There is a version of the deck without Katarina and King Crush, which are replaced with mechanical whelps instead, so you could try that if you're on a budget. Deathstalker Rexxar is amazing as always in this deck, just like in any other Hunter deck, except Odd of course, but who plays that anymore anyway? Houndmaster Shaw is another close to irreplaceable card in this deck, although you could try your luck with a Tundra Rhino for a cheaper deck, but only if you are really low on dust. Mossy Horror is a good tech card here, since it smashes through Inventors, Spreading Plagues, and it can even be used as an egg activator, so there's that. On the mulligan, you always want to keep your eggs, kill set and tracking. If you already have the egg, it is good to save your Deathrattle activators as well. Against aggro matchups, Candleshot Bow, Flanking Strike, and sometimes Spider Bombs are also a good idea to keep. Against more control-oriented decks, you have to go for Rexxar for infinite value. If you are suspecting you're playing against an even lock, Hunter's Mark is a great keep then, but would be a bit useless against Zoo, so mulligan wisely. Here's how the deck fares against the other popular meta decks right now. I will use Vicious Syndicate's win rate chart since I feel it shows the most accurate picture. The deck has positive win rates against almost all of the popular decks in the meta right now, only being on the weak side against aggro decks like Odd Paladin, Odd Rogue, Zoolock and even Shaman. Quest Rogue is the real bane of this deck, but if you know what you're doing, you can win against all of those decks. If you're sick of losing to control, then the Deathrattle Hunter is perfect for you. Now let's talk about the 3 stages of the game, against aggro and against control. In the early game, against aggro, you should be using tracking for more early game, and chip away small minions with your Candleshot Bow. It's okay to smack minions for a couple of turns, so you reduce your opponent's early pressure. You have to be looking for ways to retain some board control early on. In the mid-game, you should try to stabilize the game with Giggling Inventor or with the Mossy Horror. Cubing a Flanking Strike Wolf or an Annoyatron is also a good idea if you have an activator for next turn. Deathstalker Rexxar is a great way to get some armor and deal with the enemy board too, and you can start generating some lifesteal or taunt minions on your next turn. The late game against aggro is self-explanatory, given you manage to reach it. Most of the time, if you drag the game to late, you should be able to win against aggro. Against control decks, you should be looking for some nice early pressure from your eggs, but in some cases it is smarter to save your Deathrattle activators for the mid to late game, so you can set up some scary board presence for that final push. In the mid game, you again can either try to take the game with pressure or play collective and save your steam for late. You might want to just use your resources to deal with your opponent's board and start building beasts for some great value for late game. In the late game, you can set up board states that are resistant to most if not all board clears, since your board will be filled with massive Deathrattle minions that will fill up the board once they are cleared. If that fails, Rexxar should be able to help you out with his great zombies, so you will always have a chance to win if you can pull off some crazy crafts. And here's something for the people who are struggling against this tier 1 deck. Always try to remove their eggs in the early game, because if they have an activator, you will be in big trouble in no time. Even if a 5/5 on turn 3 seems scary to you, you can be sure if you leave it, you will have to deal with a lot bigger problems. Saving a silence for an egg or a cube is also a good idea. And lastly, mulliganing for your Mossy Horror or Blood Knight is also a great idea against this deck, since Giggling Inventor is one of the few defensive tools Deathrattle Hunter has. So that's it for this video guys, hope this helps you climb some ranks with this deck or helps you out when facing it. If you want to see me climb to Legend with it, drop a follow on my Twitch and subscribe to my own YouTube channel, where I will be streaming it. Thanks for watching, I'm Chris05 and I'll see you in my next video.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you don't miss out on our awesome promotions, including our top 3 plays of the week. Each week we are giving away amazing esports prizes just for liking and sharing on social media. For all other esports bonuses, check the links in the description below. Until next time, happy gaming, folks.